Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bill. We're going to be in the Starfinder core rulebook today for this video. We are going to look into combat and start exploring the combat setup for Starfinder. We're going to look at the attack rolls, the armor classes, and the damages for this setting in the beginning of the combat book for this video. So I will read all this because I am not 100% familiar with a lot of it. When I played in Starfinder, I was a player and I didn't read a lot of the rules. We're used to playing D&D, so we treated it like D&D except with a few changes, and the Game Master is the one that read a lot of the rules for it. So let's start looking through the combat. We got combat basics. Who can I attack? Combat normally takes place on a battle map with a grid of 1-inch squares, each representing 5 foot by 5 foot area, with miniature figures representing characters and monsters. Most player characters and many monsters occupy a single 5 foot square, though some bigger creatures occupy multiple squares. The space a character occupies is usually referred to as his or her square, though the term space and square can be used interchangeably. See size and space on page 255 for more information. In general, you can fire a ranged weapon at any enemy you can see on the battle map, though this becomes harder the further away an enemy is. Likewise, you can use a melee weapon to attack an enemy in any square you threaten, which means the squares adjacent to your space, including diagonally, though you may be able to attack creatures further away if you have reach. See reach and threaten squares on page 255. We will get to reach and that stuff in a further video. Attack roll. An attack roll represents your attempt to hit your opponent in melee or from range with your turn in a round. When you make an attack roll, you roll a d20 and add your attack bonus. See ranged attacks and melee attacks below, as well as basic attack and damage bonus sidebar on page 241. Various other bonuses can apply from class features, feats, and so on. If your results equal or exceeds the target's AC bonus or armor class, you hit and deal damage. Ranged attacks. When making a ranged attack, you use the ranged weapon to shoot an opponent from a distance. If you're attacking with a thrown weapon, your ranged attack bonus equals your base attack bonus, determined by your class and level, plus your strength modifier. Otherwise, your attack bonus for a ranged attack equals your base attack bonus plus your dex modifier. Now that's different than any D&D game I've played. Usually the thrown attack rolls are the same as your shooting attack rolls. When you make a ranged attack, you might also take a penalty for shooting or throwing your weapon beyond the distance listed as its optimal range. Melee attacks. When making a melee attack, you use a melee weapon to strike an opponent in hand-to-hand combat. Your attack bonus for a melee attack is equal to your base attack bonus, which is based on your class and level, plus your strength modifier. Automatic misses and hits. A natural 1 on the d20 on the attack roll is always a miss. A natural 20 on the d20 is always a hit. A natural 20 is also a possible critical hit, which could deal more damage. See critical hits on page 245. We'll go over critical hits on a different video. So armor class. Your armor class, your AC, represents how hard it is for opponents to land a solid, damaging blow on you. Your armor class AC is the minimum attack roll result that an opponent needs to hit you and deal damage. Armor class is divided into two categories. Energy armor class, which is abbreviated EAC, and kinetic armor class, which is abbreviated KAC. Any reference to armor class, including bonuses and penalties, applies to both EAC and KAC unless otherwise specified. Your EAC and KAC are primarily determined by your armor bonus, most often from the suit of armor you wear, plus your dexterity modifier. Calculate your EAC and your KAC using the following formula: 10 plus your armor's EAC or KAC armor bonus, whichever is appropriate, plus your dexterity modifier. Most suits of armor provide separate armor bonuses to EAC and KAC. However, some suits of armor conditions prevent you from using your full dexterity bonus. Various other bonuses can apply from class features, feats, special circumstances, and so on. For more information on bonuses. Energy Armor Class, EAC. Your Energy Armor Class represents the defenses you have against attacks that only deal damage as a result of some kind of energy, such as acid, cold, electricity, fire, or sonic damage. When an opponent's attack would deal only energy damage, if he is using, for example, a laser pistol, his attack roll result is compared to your EAC to determine whether he hits you. Some weapons and effects that use magical or exotic untyped energies might also target your EAC. The description of the weapon or the effect tells you if this is the case. Your Kinetic Armor Class. Your Kinetic Armor Class represents the defenses you have against attacks that primarily deal damage as a result of a physical impact. This generally includes attacks that deal bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage, usually described as kinetic attacks, as well as impacts from falling and damage from crushing or constriction. When a foe's attack would deal such damage, if he is using, for example, a Stark knife, even if it also deals energy damage, his attack roll is compared to your KAC to determine whether he hits. So unless they're wielding a lightsaber, if they're attacking you with anything melee related, they're using your KAC for sure. Damage. If your attacks hit, you deal damage. Damage first reduces target's current stamina points and then the target's hit points. See Injury and Death on page 250 for more information. In most cases, the type of weapon used determines the amount of damage you deal. Though specialization in groups of similar weapons, see the weapon specialization feat, and other abilities can increase that amount. Some weapons and abilities may add further effects in addition to dealing damage. Strength modifier. When you hit with a melee or thrown ranged weapon, add your strength modifier to your damage rolls. However, do not add your strength modifier to damage of your grenades and non-thrown ranged attacks. Multiplying damage. Sometimes you multiply your damage by some factor, such as a critical hit. In this case, you do not literally multiply your damage roll result by the factor. Instead, you roll the damage, adding all modifiers, the number of times specified, and then total the results. So if your multiple was times 2, you're rolling the damage twice for your weapon. So I'll use D&D for the example because it's on my mind. I hit you with the longsword and I critical. I do a D8 damage. So I do a D8 damage and a D8 damage. I add my strength modifier twice based on this. So I add a D8, say, +2. And then I roll a D8 again and add +2. So that total would be the critical damage. If you multiply the damage more than once, each multiplier applies to the original. Unmultiplied damage, thus, doubling damage twice is equal to rolling the damage, adding all modifiers 3 times. Once for the original damage and once for each doubling. So if you did times 3 damage, you're rolling 3 times. But it's giving you a more roundabout, like I attacked a very weak point, so I do double damage, and I critical, so I do double damage. So instead I do triple damage, is more of what it's saying. Minimum damage. If penalties reduce damage results to less than 1, a hit still deals 1 non-lethal damage. Ability damage. Certain creatures and magical effects can cause temporary or permanent ability damage, which lowers a particular ability score and can reduce its modifier, therefore affecting a range of statistics and rolls. See ability damage, ability drain, and negative levels on page 252 for more information, which we'll do in another video. That covers attack rolls, armor classes, and the basics of damage for this game system. And it covers the different types of AC, energy armor class and kinetic armor class. Hopefully that clarified some things for this setting. I plan to do more videos covering the different sections of combat for this. We'll just go through the whole combat section, reading it all, and me firsthand learning it as we go. And then after that, we'll go over, might pre-read the ship section and figure out how I want to set up the video for that. But after the combat, we'll go over ships and how to make them, how to use them, how ship combat works. And I might do it in reverse order. I might do ship combat first and then go the other way, because that would allow you to at least play a ship combat without building your own ship, because it's not necessary that you build your own if you have stats for a ship to start with. But we shall see. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments. If that clarified some stuff on the critical hits and stuff compared to way normally a lot of different gaming groups run their critical hits, let me know. The 2 ACs clarified something as I just did the spell video before this, and it mentioned one of those ACs, and it's been at least 3 or 4 years since I've played this game. And I remember having the 2 ACs, but I didn't remember what they did. So that clarifies that for me. Share this with your fellow players if they're going to play Starfinder. Until we all game again, guys.